Hello, everybody. Been away from Seattle so long. It's great to be back. Great to be back. Been away for so long, started to forget what Asian people look like. Great to be back in Pioneer Square as well. You can find more mentally deranged people in the space of a city block than you can the entirety of Gotham City. So, you're thinking, did the man in the Riddler shoes just say that? Yes, he did. He did say that. He did. It's a joke he went with. For those of you that are wondering, I should probably let you know, I am a comedian. For those of you that are thinking I'm here to unveil the iPhone 7. Can clear that up. 24 Steve Jobs movies this year and I don't get a single fucking callback. Looks can be deceiving. Looks can be deceiving, just like, George Michael, for instance. We know George Michael, we familiar with that man? Yeah, George Michael, the sort of man, he wore hot pants and had a flock of seagulls haircut and everybody thought he was straight. Yeah. My dad once explained it to me. He said, you know what, son, nobody could tell. That's just how everybody was in the 80s. To which I thought my dad was sucking off policemen in the 80s. But yeah, looks can be deceiving. Donald Trump, for instance, he looks like a presidential candidate, doesn't he? We got to admit it, at this point, he looks like one, but looks can be deceiving. Oh man, yeah, see, not a fan. Not a fan? No, you can't be a fan. It's kind of a shameful state of affairs when a man named Donald's less suited for the job than a duck of the same name. Cartoon fans are over here. Directed at you. No, it's really though, if Trump's poll numbers teach us anything, it's that birth control is not as readily accessible in this country as it fucking should be. It's just a theory I've got. And it really makes me believe, Trump's makes me believe that we really should have detachable genitalia. For those of you that don't know what I mean, hear me out. If you vote for Donald Trump, you should have your genitals taken away from you. That's basically what I'm trying to say. And then, you should be beaten with them. Depending on size, of course. Depending on size. Judging by a lot of Trump supporters, I don't think we're going to be working with much. You know what I mean? So, I feel like there should be, I can't really talk, but it's cold outside, leave me alone. But I feel like the marker should be, this microphone, for instance. I feel like if you're smaller than this microphone, then maybe we should take a donor genitals of some point, and we'll beat you with those. So not your own, we'll beat you with somebody else's. You, for instance, sir, you look like a gentleman with a healthy package. Maybe we'll use yours. First time I've ever said that to a man. Man who didn't work at GNC anyway. No, that's just my theory, because looks can be deceiving, and we're more accepting nowadays, aren't we? We're more accepting because we're accepting the fact that Trump might actually get the presidential nomination. That's just kind of what we have to accept. We accept that we've got to call Bruce Jenner Caitlyn Jenner now. We accept that. We're a more accepting culture. We call Arnold Schwarzenegger African American. That's what we do because we adapt. We adapt. This side like that. This is what I'm working on. So, we're in an interesting time of year though, aren't we? Because, looks can be deceiving and we care a lot about our appearances. And last week we were making a list of all the things we want because we think we've been nice. And then this week we make a list of all the things that are fucking horrible about ourselves and we're going to change across the course of the next year. We have 365 days of the year that we can choose to hate ourselves, but for some reason on January the 1st we decide to do it all at the fucking same time, and not quite sure why. Does anybody know what the most popular New Year's resolution is? What do you think? The number one. All right, I put on a bit of Christmas pudding, but there's no need for heckling. It's a bit much. It's a bit sensitive, but you are correct. It is, and it's to lose weight. And I set that goal last year. And I've lost a little bit of weight, Thank you very much. So much so that I've actually got an audition for a Subway commercial coming up. Yeah, they've got a job opening. Now see, I'm not saying I'm as good at dieting as Jared, but yeah, I probably would have lost all that weight too if I was only ordering off the kids' menu. You know what I mean? I love that you hate me for that. I love that blame me for that, Jared. Anyway, just a thought. I'm going to give this guy a minute to come back around after that one. Man down, left. Anyway, no, dieting, it's an odd one, isn't it? Losing weight, because it goes the same way every year. We try and get six-pack abs between the month of January and the month of mid-January, and if it doesn't really work, then we just kind of give up. And we seem to give up about the same time. It always seems to be Valentine's Day. This is my theory, because it's always the same every year. Valentine's Day, you realize you're single. There's a gallon of Chunky Monkey in the fridge, and so you sit there and listen to Pink's Family Portrait on continuous repeat, and then just eat yourself away. That's the way it usually goes. Not everybody? Okay, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's not the way it goes. Ben and Jerry's don't do gallon tubs of ice cream, so listen. You know that. But no, there's other things on the list. We make this ridiculous list of resolutions, don't we? I don't know if anybody else knows what's on the list, but I did bring a card that I stole from a professional football referee with me. But the next one is to learn something new. Second thing is learn something new. In Finland,
wow.
There are more saunas than there are cars. You didn't know that, did you? You just learned something new.
Yeah.
So you've got that one crossed off. You didn't know that because you weren't reading Snapple facts before the show, were you? So that's one crossed off. You can deal with that. Number 3, give more to charity. Well, we can't really argue with that one, can we? We've got to give more to charity. Unless you're talking about the whore that stands at 135th and Aurora. She's had a good year. We don't need to give more to her. Don't. No, give more to charity. Give more to charity. Who said that's chastity, not charity? Who's correcting me on the name of the prostitute? It's unbelievable. Got fact checkers on the left corner. Unbelievable. Anyway. No, we got to give more money to charity, and look, I tried to do this. I tried to give more to charity very recently, actually. So I had a big bag of food that I brought down to Pioneer Square, knowing the sort of area that it is, and I brought it down to Pioneer Square, and I found a man. I found a man who had this. He had this like flannel shirt that was all dirty and kind of ripped, and he had this really like big, unkempt beard and these big beady eyes that were filled with a sudden rage when I gave him the bag of food. Turns out he wasn't homeless at all. He was just from Seattle, and I've kind of forgot what the fashion's like around here. I had to buy his album just to calm him down. So, getting along now. Anyway, that's what we do with charity. The fourth most popular one that everybody does is to find love. And I set myself that goal last year. Thanks. I like you guys to laugh, but in the appropriate places. Bastards. Anyway, so find a partner. Find a partner, and I set myself that goal New Year's Eve last year. I was at a party and thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to go to bed with someone at this party, and then that's my next year sorted. I woke up fully clothed, top to toe, next to my best friend Steve. And then I realized that I should probably be a bit more specific about my goals henceforth. So that's one I'm adding to the list. And then the final one, the fifth one, help others achieve their dreams. Help others achieve their dreams. That's nice. That's nice. However, if you do know my best friend Steve that I just mentioned, his dream is to play a round of golf with the Jetsons. And I've got a funny feeling that's a little hard to achieve. So some people, you just got to kind of check that at the door. You got to check that at the door and move on. But we are, this is the goal I'm going to set. Now I'm going to be a little real for a second, and I apologize for this. Something I want to do the next year, and I hope that you will join me in doing this, is be less offended by comedy. I really, really hope so. Be less offended by comedy, because on a very, very dark note, something happened on January the 7th of this year, and that was the terrible thing that happened with Charlie Hebdo, the first thing that happened in France. It was a terrible, terrible thing that happened. Now, those people apparently believe that comedy is evil. If comedy is evil, then it's a necessary fucking evil. That's my belief on this. It's such a necessary evil that we need to keep in the world. We really, really do. And so I love being here, and I love the fact that a group of people will come out on a Tuesday night to come and watch me perform comedy when it's colder and wetter outside than my horny ex-girlfriend. It is so good to see this amount of people come out and support comedy in Seattle. It really does mean the world. I live in New York now. I've learned a lot over the last year. I've learned that, when you're looking for a place, an open house means that it's missing a wall. If I'd have paid attention to the fact that I could hear the guys below a tracksuit rubbing together on the other end of the phone, I probably would have noticed that to begin with. And I also learned that what is unemployment is the answer to every question on Daytime Jeopardy. But it's slow burner. But we got there. So I just wanted to say personally, thank you to the Comedy Underground in this lovely location. If we could give them a round of applause. This is where I got my start, and this is where I keep coming back when I'm in the city. Thank you to every single one of you that comes out and supports live comedy. Please keep doing it across the next year. Have a good time, laugh, and happy 2016, ladies and gentlemen.